Hello, this is a Frankly Tarot, coming at you with another tarot video. It's pretty early in the morning, so I'm on my first cup of tea. Time is at 5:30. But I'm up early anyway. So today I wanted to share with you a couple of interesting things. I have this kind of unusual tarot deck that I want to explore with you a little bit, but before we do that, I made this cloth, this reading cloth. It's been a couple of 3 months now, and it's double-sided. Can put it either way. I got the idea from Lisa, I think at Supportive Tarot. Her wife had made some reading cloths for her that you could flip over. So I love the idea. So I made this one, and I decided I sew a lot. I've been sewing for a few decades, but I had not ever really learned how to do these neat corners, and mine's not that neat. But I thought, oh, I'll figure out, or I'll learn. I didn't figure it out. I just found some YouTube and blog directions how to make these fancy corners, and then my cloth will be extra, ever so extra. I haven't decided if I really like the fabrics that I picked out, but I think they're growing on me. So yeah, so I made it a few months ago. The first thing I did was spill some wine on there, so we'll see. Hopefully that comes out. I didn't iron it though. It's kind of a deep midnight blue, and with little sparkles, and white with little sparkles, and then this side is a gray, light gray with little sparkles. So I wonder if the gray would actually look better on the video. We'll see. We'll go with the gray for now. So this tarot deck that I want to show you is called the Ninth Dimension Tarot, St. Croix Psychogenic Game Kit, 14 different games in one. And it is from the early 70s. A friend of mine gave me this earlier in the year, right after the new year. I think she had been cleaning some stuff out, and she actually showed this to a group of us like 10 years ago now, and I wanted it then, but she wasn't ready to get rid of it at that point. But it's a really neat deck. My cat is in here, and he's quite a talker, so if you hear what sounds like a cat in distress, he's not actually in distress. Okay. I might put them out. So these are the backs. They are, as you can see here, the back is not reversible. And then these are the images. And the images are, I think, technically just black and white line images, drawings, and then this color has been kind of laid upon it. But I really love these, the almost crudeness of the drawings, and how compact is the word. Some of these are very compact, like this. Almost looks like a chess piece, the Page of Pentacles. Wands, this one is sparklers. The cups I find especially delightful because they really look like somebody's thrifted, yard saled collection of coffee mugs from the 70s. Swords. So it's a pip deck, I think we technically call it a pip deck, because the pips kind of just show the element, or rather the suit, as opposed to a whole scene like in the Rider-Waite. That's the Empress. What have you got? Little piece of grass. The Knight of Swords. Oh, here's the Eight of Cups, which shows more of that collection of thrifted and yard saled 70s coffee mugs. I really feel like when I was a kid or in college, I knew people who had, a bunch of these kinds of mugs, and we drank everything out of it: coffee, tea, wine, liquor, soda. Pentacles. Here's the Tower. I like the Tower. It's kind of It's very expressive. It's kind of brutal. It's a brutal image. Very powerful and jarring. That one. I want to dig out the Magician. Was it in my reading? Was it in my reading? And the reason I want to dig out the Magician, I'll just set that here to kind of look at these, is, oh, is he going to be like way at the back? All right, we'll look at Judgment instead, and the Lovers. So, of course, the Magician in many decks has a lemniscate around over top of his head, or above his head. And what I've noticed in this deck is the lemniscate is a recurring motif. You can see it here in the Queen of Pentacles. Here it is in the Lovers. Judgment has it. Really kind of swings up. So a lot of these court cards and the majors have this very strong lemniscate figure. Oh, the devil is kind of has like this very devilish look to him. It's very natty in his suit. I think he's even got like a little hanky in his pocket or something. The Hanged Man has a lemniscate. So that's Temperance. Oh, these and the Pentacles. I love this Six of Pentacles because they look like buttons. They almost look, I was like, oh, I wonder if I've got any of these buttons in my collection. They're all a little bit different. A bracelet. Yeah, that one especially is very creative. Everyone is different. Almost reminds me of a button box that you'd pick up at a whatchamacallit, flea market. That Magician really is going to be at the end, isn't it? Here's the Chariot. It's like a bird with a lemniscate happening. Oh, the World. I don't think I ever really noticed the World, but it's interesting because you've got a planet or something. It looks like birds and another little thing coming right for it. Brave little asteroid here. And Hierophant is very Hierophanty. Strength. There's the Magician. So of course he's got the lemniscate at the top, and then it almost like sets the motif for the whole deck of these lemniscates. Let me show you the book a little bit. The book is very unusual, or some aspects of the book is unusual because it tells you the election game, sporting event game, stock market buy and sell game. And it's not really predicting the stock market. The analysis game, you can kind of predict the stock market if you wanted to. But it's just a game of guessing, of intuition. And it looks kind of neat. I was going through this last night and did a short reading for myself, which I'm going to kind of show you in a minute. But I was like, oh, I should just do that stock market game just for fun. It has a tarot or blackjack game, and this tarot rock game, I haven't really explored it very much. Now, that's the other thing I want to talk about. Now, there are a few interesting features about this deck that I really do like. One is when you shuffle, you keep everything upright. And then, as you look at the games, they will tell you how many cards to reverse. I want to be careful because the previous owner's name is in here. But anyway, so it says, shuffle and then reverse 7 cards. To me, this is a great way to get a few reversals without like having a whole spread, a whole 10-card spread or something full of reversals. I see that a lot. I mean, I don't read reversals, but I see it a lot on the internet when people are showing or asking for advice about their readings. Like, why are all my cards upside down? And I'm thinking because you're holding the deck upside down. But with this method and with the upright backs, you only get a certain number of cards reversed each time, and then I think your reversals can really mean something if you get them. So the other thing that they have, or that this system incorporates, are 4 3 extra ways to number or value your cards, each card. One is the dimension. Each card has a dimension, and I think they go 1 through 9. So the upright has a dimension and the reversed has a dimension. I can't see. The upright will have a dimension and the reversed will have a dimension. And then it will have an alchemical value. And I'm not very versed. I'm not versed at all on alchemy. But this value, this scale runs from 1 to 100, with the higher number is the more positive, makes the card more positive. It doesn't use every single number 1 through 100 because there's only 78 cards. So if your card has a value of 0, 10, or 20, it's inferior, debilitating forces. 21, 30, 39, negative. 40 to 59, poor. 60 to 69, barely passing. It sounds, I feel like I'm in high school again. And then the last one that it has is the par value, and this is 0 through 4. And the idea is to add them up and get an average score or a grade, because it really is. 4 equals A, 3 equals B, 2 equals C, 1 D, 0 F. F. When I was in high school, anything below 72% was failing, or 70. It was pretty, you had to work hard to make it. It was just a little small town school where the same teacher was the principal, the English teacher, and the French teacher. So last night I went ahead and I did a short reading, and I'm just going to pull out the cards that I pulled. We're not going to do I'm not going to pull them out here or right now. This is the 4-card instant fortune, or the triangle fortune. And it's a handy little spread of past, present, something. The card 3 isn't future, it's what you're thinking about consciously at the moment. And then card 4 is the future. Or I would say something, I would call it an action item, or something you can do to make, to push your issue forward. So I drew, let's see, the Ace of Pentacles for the past, the Star for the present, the 7 of Swords for what's on my conscious mind, and Death for the future, which kind of looks grim right off the bat, but it's not. I didn't read it as grim. But let's look at all these various values. The Ace of Pentacles. So the dimension, remember, is 1 through 9. Yeah, 1 through 9. And these are all fairly low. The Ace is the 3rd dimension, the Star is the 4th, 7 of Swords is the 2nd dimension, and Death is the 5th. And the trend here is that the pip cards, well, the aces seem to be fairly high on all this stuff, but the rest of the pip cards are fairly low and the majors are fairly high. I'm not sure about the court cards. The back of this has this long chart showing the meanings and the various values for each card, upright and reversed. I mean, it is pretty rich in explanation, I have to say. It does go in depth. And so the Ace of Pentacles, as we said, is in the 3rd dimension, and the King of Pentacles is also in the 3rd dimension. And the Ace has an alchemical value of 84, and the King has an alchemical value of 70. So the aces are pretty high on this scale. Where were we? Has a par value of 4. The Star is on the 4th dimension, has an alchemical value of 91, par of 3. Here we are. The 7 of Wands is on the 2nd dimension, has an alchemical value of 26, so you can see it's much lower. Its par value is 0. Death is on the 5th dimension, alchemical value of 96, and a par value of 4. So yeah, it's interesting because the ace has a higher par than the star, but a lower alchemical value. The dimension is supposed to be like the spiritual value. It doesn't really go into depth about exactly how or the point of these different values are, but I thought it was interesting. I averaged out the par. I've got 2 3/4 as the average, and so not quite, or a little bit above half. The alchemical is 74 1/4. So let's see, page 4, I think. Alchemical value. The alchemical value is 74, average. The par is 2 3/4. So somewhere between average and very good. And the dimension, I didn't average out the dimension. Spiritual value. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know. So anyway, how did I read this? My question, or what I was thinking about is how can I keep up with my creativity. Since we've been on lockdown, I'm working full time, but I still have a lot of extra time because I'm not commuting, and my lunches, I have an hour lunch break and I'm spending it in my home. So that's almost 2 full working days that I've gained. So I am happy about that. And so, but I want to use that time in a good way, not just, tooling around on Reddit. So my question was, how can I kind of keep up with my creativity, creative activities? And I took the Ace of Pentacles to mean that I'm getting a lot of good ideas, and I have like a lot of these bursts of creative things that I want to do. The star shows that I'm kind of actively imagining and developing these ideas. I may even be gathering materials, not too much. I have a lot of materials. The Seven of Swords kind of shows kind of distractions or things that make me anxious, and that anxiety pulls me away from this more my creative pursuits. And then the Death is the future, or what needs to happen is that these distractions need to just go away. And they're not I'm not considering them the typical distractions of, making food and cleaning up and doing, chores, or hanging out with my husband, or things like that. I mostly think that what this represents is the ways that I can just really waste a lot of time. And and it's not just because we're on lockdown. I can be that way anyway. And I know that a lot of times, if I was going to be very positive about it, oh, you're not wasting time, you're still thinking and dreaming. No, I'm wasting my time. And that particular bad habit really needs to come to an end. And then I can do more stuff, like make these videos, make cloths and sewing, and study my tarot cards. I've come across some really interesting exercises on YouTube that I really want to explore, and they take time, but I feel like it's time well spent. That is my video for today. I hope we weren't too, speaking of distracted, I hope we weren't too distracted by the morning activities of my cats. One of them came in crying, the other one was scratching, I don't know. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope this was interesting. If you like this video or any of my videos, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, click my subscribe button. For a while I was getting these out every week and a half. I slowed down a little bit. It's more than I can really sustain. But hopefully I'll have some more cool stuff coming at you in the very near future. Till then, I'll talk to you later. Bye.